المرسلين نبينا ومولانا محمد الصادق الوعد الأمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اغفر لنا، اللهم ارحمنا، ربي يسر ولا تعسر. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا، ونسألك عملا خالصا متقبلا، ونسألك رضاك والجنة، ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الهلع والخوف والجزع. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الهم والحزن، ونعوذ بك من العجز والكسل، ونعوذ بك من الجبن والبخل، ونعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الجنون والبرص والجذام وسيء الأسقام. آمين. Respected brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And sisters, inshallah we continue with our Seerah classes. We ask Allah to benefit us with tonight's lecture, inshallah, which is continuation of the last class, which is da'wah publicly. We said that the da'wah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went through three phases. Secret da'wah for 3 years. Secret da'wah for 3 years, from the age of 40 to 43. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was secretly doing da'wah. He was not open in the da'wah, meaning he was selecting few people and then he talks to them one-on-one. And even those who refuse, he used to ask them to please don't tell anyone. If this teaches us anything, it teaches us that in the beginning of any project, even if it's business project, or you should be quiet. You should not talk about it too much. So many people fail in their projects, whether da'wah project or ilm project or charity or business even, because they talk too much. If they plan well and talk to just few, and when it materialize, announce. Like sunnah of nikah. Nikah, when you are still planning, you should not tell anyone. You should not announce. Announcing, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do not announce. He said, do not announce khitbah, but announce marriage. Nikah you should. Once you fix the date, you tell people. But when you are just engagement, you shouldn't say that. So this is a form of engagement also. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was doing da'wah just to people. When he formed a core group, Allah commanded him to now openly do da'wah. So he started with his family, immediate family. وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ وَعَلَيْكُمُ السَّلَامُ وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ. So the second phase is to go open. To go for open da'wah. To go for open da'wah. Okay, so please remember this. The first phase is secret da'wah, from the age of 40 to 43. First phase. Second phase, open da'wah, from 43 to 53. 10 more years. And then da'wah through jihad, or what we call state. The statehood. So 3 phases of da'wah the Prophet ﷺ went through. And Islam, I'll tell you now, brothers, Islam will not be strong without these 3 phases. Most people think da'wah is just to talk to people. It's not. Islam is not going to spread by talking. If you don't fight, literally fight, because people will fight you. Simple as this. Because the nature of Islam requires that you stand at that. It needs a state. Islam will not be practiced in the street unless there is a state. It will be practiced at home. At home, alhamdulillah, you do your best. But is that Islam? If Islam meant that the Prophet ﷺ teaches Khadija and her children, no one would have fought him. No one. But they knew what is Islam. Islam is jama'ah. Islam is masjid. Islam is forbidding what is wrong. You see nightclub, you close it down. Islam is even near masjid, you don't build another masjid. How about that? Let alone nightclub. There is already a masjid. Why you build a surah? You're dividing the Muslim community. Oh, I see. So please Please understand, my brothers and sisters, Islam will never stand on its feet if we don't move to the third stage of da'wah, which is to implement the state. Why Oran Kafir can build the state? Why Vatican can build the state? Why Buddhists can build the state? Why not Muslims? Why Hindus? India, is it a Hindu government?
Yes.
Good, very good. This one, Myanmar, isn't a Buddhist government?
Yes.
Go see who runs the country. When it comes to Islam, we all backward. Here is the Seerah. That's what I mean, Samai. Here is the Seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Clear, crystal clear. He went through 3 phases. The first phase, what is it, brothers and sisters? Secret da'wah. From what age to what age?
40 to 43.
From 40 to 43, 3 years. Good. Second, da'wah openly. From da'wah, just da'wah. No fighting, nothing. From 43 to 53, 10 years. Then the last 10 years of the Prophet?
Jihad.
Very good. That's what we are missing. And forget it, my brothers and sisters. There will be no Islam without jihad. The West understand this very well. That's why they are attacking us and saying what? They're saying what? Very good. They're saying we are terrorists. They already know. So it's like I know what you want and I go quickly to bar the road for you. By calling you the opposite of who you are. We don't fight because we want to fight. Because we know you're going to stop us. You will never leave us alone. Remember that, my dear sisters and brothers. And if you go to the first story of mankind, beginning of mankind, Adam alayhi salam, he didn't do nothing to shaitan. Yet shaitan went after him. That's exactly what happens. The kuffar represent shaitan. We the Muslims represent Adam alayhi salam. So they will be after us even when we do nothing wrong to them. Remember that, never forget that. So today, inshallah, we will talk about the second migration to Abyssinia. So we said that the Prophet ﷺ went through a lot of pain in his da'wah, yet Allah didn't allow him to use violence in Mecca, in the second phase. He did not allow him to use violence. Because it's very important to understand one thing. Violence within one society is counterproductive. If you use, even when you are oppressed, use sabr. You die, you go to Jannah. You torture, Allah will reward you. They exile you, don't worry. But to fight back in the same society, like in Mecca, if the Prophet ﷺ used self-defense in Mecca to people who don't know Mecca, what do they say?
Rebel.
Very good. They say rebel. What else? What do they say? Troublemaker. Because how can you fight against your own society? No one will understand what the kuffar did to you, but they will always blame you for what you did. After all, the whole propaganda is against you. Remember that. So that's why the Muslims were forbidden to use violence as even a means of defense until they get out of Mecca. So when they go to different society, now Mecca versus Medina, it works. Mecca inside, or Medina, it doesn't work. Remember that. Never forget this lesson I'm sharing with you. No, that's why some governments actually make bombs. They create bombs. They bomb civilians. They make a car bomb. In order to justify why they crack down on some people. You need to know this. They will do all this nonsense in order to go after a strong Islamic group or party or whatever it's threatening them. Oh, I see. And they will blame it on that group. They have the media. By the way, if you have half of the ruling is media, you know that? If you want to rule a country, if the media is not with you, forget it. Half of ruling is media. The other half, you know what is it? Is charisma. If you don't have charisma of a leader, you can't. Sorry. you'll be changed quickly. This is why Morsi, may Allah have mercy on him, was kicked. The media was against him and he didn't have charisma. In politics, you can't be nice. You need to know this. Stop thinking being nice. When you rule, you can't be nice. Doesn't mean you have to be dictator, but you have to doubt everyone. You know that or not? Because the Islamists already have proven they cannot rule. Do you know that the Sisi, this now president of, he tricked Morsi because he became his minister of defense. He said, "Sir, can I use the phone for a while?" He said, "Yeah, go ahead." In his presence, he called his wife. "Wife, it's Dhuhr already, yeah? Tell the children to pray." Morsi, being a religious person, "Oh, my minister of defense, very good." After that, he kicked him out. He tricked him. He knows what he likes. Muslims still naive. Politicians understand exactly what I'm saying now. All politicians who are watching us now, if they watch this YouTube, they say this guy is dangerous. Yeah, I'm dangerous. When you rule, it's not like when you need the salat. When you need the salat, you need khushu'. When you rule people, you get to doubt them, all of them, without exception. Because everybody wants your place. And it has proven. Morsi was thrown in jail and died in jail. Inshallah, shaheed. May Allah accept him. But sorry, the wolf will eat meat. The wolf cannot eat vegetables. Remember this. So, alhamdulillah, Allah protected the Prophet ﷺ. He didn't allow him to make these mistakes. So that's why the Sahaba say, "Oh, Messenger of Allah, allow us to fight back." He said, "No." And he used to get very mad at them. One day he was at the Kaaba, and the Sahaba came and told him, "Look, O Messenger of Allah, what they did to us. They were bruised, bullied. They had swollen faces." They said, "Ya Rasulullah, allow us to fight back." He got so mad, angry. His face turned red, and you can see, this is how Rasulullah ﷺ used to get angry. You see his vein here and here. They pop up. And then he told them, وَلَكِنَّكُمْ قَوْمٌ تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ. You are people in hurry. You want the fruits of this deen very fast. There are people before you, they used to comb their skin off. They put the comb of iron and they skin off the skin, imagine. And they still obey their prophets. They used to be cut by the saw in the neck and half of the body, like Zakaria alayhi salam. And they did not resort to this. Wait, sabr, sabr. One day Allah will allow us. And the time came. All the ayat of jihad were revealed in Medina, not in Mecca. Because one thing you need to understand, how people perceive the da'wah. Because da'wah is not for you. It's not your job. It's not like it's my career. If I don't like it, I resign and go to another job. I don't like this business of coffee, I go sell shawarma. No, it's not like that. Da'wah is for Allah's sake. And all the prophets of Allah suffered. Not just Muhammad, peace be upon him. So, that's why Allah allowed them to migrate. Migrate where? First, twice to Abyssinia, which is today Ethiopia and Eritrea. Ethiopia and Eritrea were the first land where Muslims went. So it was Africa. I stressed upon this last time we met. I said, you are ignoring Africa, brothers and sisters. And you should visit Africa. You should also look for business. Look at the British and the Chinese. And even the Americans, their biggest investments is in Africa, because it's the last, when you study continents, the continent with a lot of resources is Africa. Also human resources, very young continent compared to Europe, for example. Europe very old. They are calling it the oldest continent. That's why they allow migration to the land. Why do you think Europeans and Americans want immigrants, and even Australia, want still immigrants to come and give them green card, later on give them citizenship? Because, not because they like you, they don't like anyone, they like only themselves. But they have to. You think Germany gave 800,000 PR to the Syrians because they like Syrians? Because they have no choice. The market demands. The market demands labor. And I rather bring white than to bring black. Imagine black German. The Germans, it doesn't work black German. Black American, but German. But it is going there. It's going to be chocolate German. Anyway, I want my brothers and sisters to join the Seerah to today's problems. Then you understand. So the Muslims went to Africa. And I told you why last time. I told you Rasulullah ﷺ was well aware of politics of his time. He knew the Persians are corrupt. They are corrupt people. They may hand them over back to Mecca if they don't kill them themselves. He understood that the Byzantium Empire or the Roman Empire were also corrupt. They will either kill them or send them back to Mecca to be killed. The Coptic Empire in Egypt, the Ghassasina of Iraq and Syria, and Yemenis. But he told them to go to Africa. Why? Because he understood the psychology of an oppressed person. When a person is oppressed, he will sympathize with you. People of arrogance, they can't. They don't know what is sympathy. They have no empathy. But who do you think will really feel your pain? Who do you think will really understand what does cancer mean? A survivor. Or a brother who lost his wife. Or a sister who lost her husband. They understand what you go through. They understand very well what you go through. Because they know what does this is. They suffered from it themselves. Either as companion of the person who is sick, or if the person himself or herself is survivor. So the Africans didn't have what we call the complex of superiority. So when muhajirin will come to their land, they will sympathize with them. Unlike if you go to Rome, they already look at you down. What are you doing in this land? Because they have that complex. So you need to know psychology of people and psychology of the rulers of that land. So the ruler of that land, the Prophet ﷺ knew he was a man of justice. So he sent them there. And this is another evidence that between a Muslim land full of injustice and a Kafir land full of justice, you should migrate to where there is justice, not where there is Islam. Where there is Islam, meaning I'm a Muslim, but doesn't mean I'm a just person. There are many oppressive regimes among Muslims. And there are many non-oppressive regimes among non-Muslims. And this is why those who are thinking the West will collapse very soon, they are wrong. Many Muslims are saying the West is going to fall. The West is not going to fall. Yes, there are gays among the West. Yes, there are people who drink alcohol. Yes. But they still preserve what we call ethics of Jama'ah. For example, they give status to refugees. They give them shelter. They give you even a check, social security. Go to Saudi Arabia and tell them, I'm a refugee, please help me. Allow me just to stay in your land until they will deport you right away. But in the West, they still, when you have a valid reason, afraid for your life, they will listen to you. So those who are thinking, oh, the West is about to collapse, therefore you're dreaming. You're dreaming. The West is not about to fall. Not yet. And if you're waiting for, so it means you do nothing. We do nothing. No. Rasulullah ﷺ invested in his capital. His capital was his man and women. And please understand, your best friends are the greatest gift Allah gave you after a good wife. I told you this. Today I taught the youth, the greatest gift Allah gave a man is his wife. So he has to really, really treat her well. After friends, after wife, is good friends. Good friends meaning people, they will never leave you alone when you need them. They may not see you every day, but the day you need them, they are there. Rasulullah ﷺ, his greatest asset were his companions. So that's why he saved them. He told them to go there, because here they will kill you. So when you see, so it is anti-sunnah to put the capital, meaning our youth, into danger. That's why I'm against people who say call for jihad just like that. You call for jihad what? Meaning you're going to kill all these youth. All these youth, oh, let's go fight. Fight under who, with who? Mister. And that's exactly what the West wants you to do. Did you realize that every 10 years they create something so that the youth go and fight and they finish them? They did that to Al-Qaeda. They did that to now Islamic State, ISIS. The youth, they are very sincere youth. They join. The West, that's exactly what they want. Let them come, regroup them in Syria, finish them. Iraq, finish them. Afghanistan, finish them. No. It's high time that these youth go study, go learn, go this, protect them, prepare them. For when the time comes, they're ready. They would love you to do this. They flash you. It's called flashing. Rasulullah knew that Quraysh will flash all the Sahaba. So what did he do? Did he present them to them? All they needed is an excuse. He did not let them to use excuse. Even the Sahaba, they were very hot and about to do something, he sent them. Go. It's not the right time. So that's a great leader. A great leader protects his asset. He doesn't send them to die. Offer them to Orang Kafir to kill them. I see. So that was the first migration. The second migration today, 1448, the polytheists, the Quraysh Kuffar, were incensed on receiving news about the hospitality and the warm welcome accorded to the Muslims in Abyssinia. They were really angry at that. Remember when the Najashi didn't want to hand over Ja'far ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu and his companions back to Amr ibn al-As? Do you remember the story? Okay. He went ballistic, angry. How come? Because I told you one thing arrogant people cannot tolerate is to scratch their ego. Allahu Akbar. Arrogant people, if you want to kill them, you embarrass them. You just embarrass them. Make them look, make fun of them in front of people. They cannot accept that. Because all their life, they want what? To look good in front of people. To look superior. And you are making fun of them. Somehow. Either by a comment or by physically doing something to them. So they were humbled. And they don't want to be humbled. When Amr ibn al-As came back without nothing. So they decided this time to play a game. To say the intolerance of Quraysh has stopped. So that when they come back, they catch them. That's why, please, always never trust arrogant people. My advice to you. Once you know someone is arrogant, never trust him or her. No matter what they do, they may show you a nice face, they repented to Allah. Arrogant people never repent. May Allah save us.
Ameen.
So, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam permitted the helpless among the Sahaba to seek asylum in Abyssinia one more time. Brothers and sisters, they used to ask permission. They cannot just go. And most of them didn't want. Actually, they were commanded to go. Because to them, to live with the Prophet, seeing him, even with the torture of every day, just seeing his face, that already gives them so much pleasure. But he said, no, you have to go back one more time. So they had to go one more time, but this time they didn't stay long. When they came back, alhamdulillah, at that moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed the Prophet ﷺ for the final hijrah. Hijrah to Al-Madinah Al-Munawwar. The kuffar of Quraysh decided to kill the Prophet this time. They said, this is it. This man, whatever we are doing with him, instead of shrinking, he's becoming even bigger and bigger. The more we are acting against him, the more he's becoming stronger. Moreover, now he's becoming what? International. He was just inside Mecca. From Mecca, he went where? To Arabia. Now all the Arabs talking about Muhammad. Muhammad and his companions. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They're talking. A lot of people are talking inside Arabia. Now, Africans hear about his problem. Oh, this goes even beyond their liking. They cannot accept that. And if Africa heard about it, how about the spies of the Romans and the spies of the Persians, the KGB and the CIA? Do you think they will not know? If Africa know about a new thing happening in Arabia, you think the KGB is Persia, and CIA of Rome wouldn't know? They know. Just businessmen talk, let alone just businessmen. When they travel to Syria to do business, they talk to one another. Of course, there are spies. They hear, they report. Or how do you think? Spying is an old game, by the way. It's not just started with. So, Allahu Akbar, mashallah, rain is. Now, Quraysh want to finish the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But this time, they don't want to finish him by killing him directly, indirectly. How? Through boycott. They want to boycott him. So, they met, the leaders of Quraysh, they met near the Kaaba in Dar al-Nadwa, in their congress, and decided not to buy or sell or marry or deal, even talk. All Quraysh should cut ties with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his companions, and anyone who supports them, including Bani Hashim, which was unimaginable. You cannot imagine Quraysh not speaking to Bani Hashim. Bani Hashim is the biggest clan in Quraysh. 50% of Quraysh is Bani Hashim. Imagine. Still they were ready to go against 50%. This is why I sometimes admire non-Muslims. Please understand me. I'm not saying I admire kufr. I'm saying I admire some Orang Kafir because they practice what they believe in, even when it is wrong. You and me, the lousy Muslims, we, subhanallah, know we are on the right, but we don't stand up for the truth. We don't. Takut. Oh, what would we? What would we? We always say what would. What would you do? Okay, what happened if you die now? There is something that needs our attention right now. And you're afraid of death. Then death comes to you right now, here, in this class. Isn't it better to save a life, let's say? Die while saving a life? No. Because saving a life takes priority over class. We hear somebody falling now and asking for help. We say no until we finish the dance. Oh, inshallah, sabar then until 9:30. La ilaha illallah. That's how some Muslims act. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anh refused to recover the Kaaba when there are Muslims hungry. He said the bellies of hungry Muslims are more important than the covering the Kaaba. Kaaba is holy with cover or without cover. The Kaaba is Kaaba. But when a Muslim is hungry, you tell him, sabar brother, he can't, he will die. Feed him. So where is this understanding of the deen? So they decided, okay, let's boycott Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family, and his companions, and anyone who may come to his rescue. Now one thing, alhamdulillah, very, very noble about the Arabs is, the tribe is always with you. You need to know this. The tribe, whether you are right or wrong, they will stick with you. If we know how to use this is very good in Islam. Your tribe. That's why you be careful when you go to the Arab countries. You need to know a person is not just by himself. You know my tribe in Algeria? It has 8,400,000 people. You're looking at the future Algerian president. There. If only my tribe votes, khalas, 8,400,000. Takbir. If only half of them vote, I win. The last elections, 4 million only voted. In whole Algeria, we have president. Takbir. The point I'm making is that be careful. And this is just Algeria. You join the two tribes of Bouchiki between Algeria and Morocco. Here you have North Africa in your pocket. That's why they want the borders not to open between Morocco and Algeria, because of that tribe, one tribe. France know what to do, where to cut the cake. Yes. But they will not succeed. Because whatever Allah has gathered, you cannot divide. No human can divide what Allah gathered. Remember this. Whatever Allah gathered, the human hand cannot divide. Remember that. Keep it in mind. No matter what people do to you, even if they do sihr, if Allah brought you together with someone and people do sihr against you, they will not. They will not succeed. Just don't be afraid of anything. Okay. So the tyrants' decision to kill the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. First, they decided to kill him indirectly. How? By boycotting. It's called the boycott. So for 3 years, my brothers and sisters, the last 3 years of Rasulullah in Mecca were hell on earth. To the extent that Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her, died as a consequence to that. Imagine a woman who was a princess of Mecca. Her father was extremely rich. Her ex-husband, her second husband, and she was rich when she married Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This. The end of her life, she dies with almost hungry. She lost a lot of weight. Because 3 years, they didn't know what they were eating. Sometimes they said, we used to go out at night looking for something. And we used to touch, our hands used to touch soft thing. Any soft thing, we just pour water and eat it. We don't even know what was it. That's how bad the situation was. And it could be anything. Soft. But there were some noble people in Mecca, they used to send 2 or 3 camels at night, every night, full of food. They hit them and let them go at night. The camel walks at night, by the way, for those who don't know. Her eyes are, subhanAllah. Then those camels go towards the Shia. So they ask them to leave, and they force them to leave their homes, and outcast them outside Mecca. The Shia of Bani Hashim. They took shelter under some trees, desert trees. They don't cover that much, for those who know the desert, and some mountains. Imagine Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Khadija radiallahu anha, and her children, including many Sahaba with their wives and sons and daughters, in the open. The sun pierced their bodies every day, and the cold of the nights in the desert is unbearable. As a consequence, Khadija radiallahu anha's health deteriorated badly. So they did what we call boycott. What the Americans did against Saddam Hussein before they fought him for 10 years. The siege, economic boycott. They did not even let milk of babies reach Iraq. Never forget that. And may Allah curse Madeleine Albright, if you remember her, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs of, what's his name? Lewinsky guy. Clinton. When asked, was it worth it? She was with, what's his name? George Bush, the father, and then after that she continued in Clinton. Was it worth it that 1 million children Iraqi died because of the siege, American siege against Iraq? She said, yes, it's worth it. It's documented, it's on record. These liars who say human rights and children's rights, and they are all liars. Don't believe them. Never forget that. So, knowing that they were targeting the children, this is why they fought him after 10 years. They wanted first the Iraqi generation be weak. They can't fight. Their bodies lack a lot of minerals. Even if you fight, you cannot fight for 2-3 months. So everything was planned. The reason why I'm telling you this, to see how hard, my brothers and sisters, situation was. This Islam didn't reach us on a silver or golden platter. It came because of many suffering of the Prophet himself. Many Sahaba reported that they used to eat anything at night. Anything their hands will touch. Anything, even if it's poop of camel. They were hungry. You know, when you are hungry, somebody asked me today, was the food good? I told them, when you are hungry, every food is good. That man, would you really care when you are hungry? When you're super hungry, if I put anything, it can be this. It becomes chippies. I don't know what is chippies. Okay. Now, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam suffered for 3 years. The Sahaba suffered for 3 years. Khadija never blamed him. May Allah be pleased with her. She never said, you see what you have done, my dear husband. Even as a joke. She never, ever told him, because of you I am like this. Or I lost my money. No, no, no. That's why one of the things you should ask Allah is to grant you a chance to see this great woman in Jannah and talk to her. Because brothers, sister, you can't be great without a great wife. Forget it. You want to be greater? Greater? There's only one sister here, don't worry. They're outnumbered. If there are many sisters, I wouldn't say this. I'm smart. One woman, one great woman can make you great. 4 great women, you know what they would do? Just smile, brother. You're pretending to be nice, worship, adab.
Actually, I'm open with my wife.
Yeah. Huh?
I'm open with my wife.
Yeah.
I always mention that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You look very open anyway. All of you take out of your wives. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Ha. Subhanallah. All of you should have 4 wives. Your mom, your wife, your sister, your daughter. Take good care of these 4. You thought 4 wives? Now I'm putting damage control. Takbir. Now imagine your mother is your role model, mashallah. Then your sister very helpful. Your wife very supportive. Your daughter, Dad, continue, should do what Allah commanded you to do. Do you know how you become fearless? Because the people you are afraid for, they are pushing you. They don't mind. They have tawakkul on Allah. They know nothing will happen to you and to them except what Allah has written. This is why we should teach Aqidah to our children from young age. So, these 3 years really hurt the Prophet, hoping that he will give up. When he sees his children hungry, the children of Sahaba, Khadija, other women, may Allah be pleased with them, tired, exhausted, thirsty, about to die, he will say, okay, Quraysh, okay, let's see, let's find solution. No. He's sabar, until one day, because they wrote Sahifa. I forgot to tell you. They wrote that boycott on the Sahifa. And they put it inside the Kaaba. And in it was, Bismikallahum, in the name of God. And then the law that they made, that all tribes should boycott Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his tribe, if his tribe comes to his rescue. And not buy from them, not sell to them, not divorce even their daughters, send their daughters back, take your daughters from them, everything. Oh my God, this is madness. The Prophet ﷺ told one of them one day that, guys, how long you have been doing this to us? Isn't it a shame that you make innocent people, children suffer? So there are always people of what we call morality. There are people of consciousness. Very nice. He said, moreover, I tell you something. You know the Sahifa where they wrote? All of it was eaten by a worm, except Bismikallahum. They asked Abu Lahab to open the Kaaba. It was closed. When he opened the Kaaba, they went to check. They found exactly what the Prophet ﷺ told them. Jibreel alayhi salam came and told him to tell them that a worm has eaten the skin of that declaration, except the line where there is Bismikallahum, in the name of Allah. So, who taught this worm to do that, and who told Muhammad ﷺ that the worm has eaten everything? And they found still the worm eating other places. She kept only that. Those people said, whoa, what is this? This is really, that means Muhammad ﷺ is true man. They knew he was good. It's just their arrogance. So 3 men said, we are not men if we let this boycott continue. So they took upon themselves to boycott the boycott. 3 leaders of Quraysh. They rely, wow, there are always good men among the non-Muslims. Those are the people you should talk to, should find where they are. There are always wise people somewhere. You have to find them and talk to them. So Rasulullah ﷺ went to those 3 and told them that, look guys, we are not going to give up, no matter what you do to us. And moreover, go check this. When they went to check, so this is miracle. The Kaaba, it was verified that Muhammad ﷺ didn't enter it within those 3 years. How does he know? It means he is the messenger of Allah, truly. So they went, did they become Muslim? No. But they boycotted the boycott and they ended it. So the Prophet ﷺ came back to his house. Khadija, shortly after that, she died. That was a big blow to him, peace be upon him. Big blow in his life. And she died in his hand. He died in the hands of Aisha radiallahu anha. So subhanAllah, as if Allah is teaching us that really a good husband should be very close to his wife when she's dying. And a good wife should be there for her husband when he's dying. Otherwise, why are you married? My brothers, need to be close to each other. Need to be close. Your wife is dying between life and death, and you are going I don't know where. Business trip. Your wife is dying. It's not like she is normally sick. Or vice versa. The husband is very sick in ICU or in a house. The doctor said he doesn't have long. And the lady is, I don't know where, conference. Or shopping, or I don't know where. That's very symbolic that the Prophet ﷺ, when Khadija, death came to her, he was there. He was holding her head on his lap. When, subhanallah, it was time for him to die, he was on the lap of Aisha. May Allah be pleased with her. Okay. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at this very moment, he revealed few verses, my brothers and sisters. Surah Al-Najm was revealed. وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا هَوَى مَا ضَلَّ صَاحِبُكُمْ وَمَا غَوَى وَمَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَى عَلَّمَهُ شَدِيدُ الْقُوَّى ذُو مِرَّةٍ فَاسْتَوَى وَهُوَ بِالْأُفُقِ الْأَعْلَى ثُمَّ دَنَا فَتَدَلَّى. At this very moment, one of the kuffar of Quraysh, actually, his name is Utbah, Utayba heard the Prophet ﷺ badly, to the extent that the Prophet ﷺ told him, Allahumma sallit alayhi kalban min kilabik. It is permissible to make dua against non-Muslims. Oh Allah, set one of your dogs on him. In Arabic, dogs means canine. Anything that has fangs. If animal has fangs, it's called dog. Even if it's a wild, like lion. Lion is a dog. In Arabic language. Kalban min kilabik. Utayba got panicked because he knows that the Prophet ﷺ dua is answered. He knows he's a prophet, but they give him hard time. He missed his face. He almost cut his face. He threw something on him. It almost hit the Prophet's face. When the Prophet realized that Utayba missed him with a rock, he said, Ya Allah, set one of your dogs against him. Allahumma sallit alayhi kalban min kilabik. Few months, Utayba went to Syria to do business. As he camped, they were camping, wolves surrounded them. He remembered the dua of Rasulullah ﷺ and he said, I am a dead man. He was the only man devoured by wolves. All other men survived. When he saw the wolves at night, he remembered the dua of Rasulullah ﷺ. And he said, I am a dead man. Tonight I am a dead man. And subhanAllah, the wolves attacked only him. They didn't attack the other man. So it was the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The supplication of Rasulullah happened when Utayba went to Syria and he rested at one place called Az-Zarqa, and subhanAllah, the wolves surrounded him and his companions, but subhanAllah attacked only him. And by the way, they removed his face. They attacked his face because he wanted to hurt the Prophet ﷺ's face. Remember this. One thing I need you to know about Rasulullah ﷺ, he wasn't weak in his da'wah. No matter what the Muslims, how bad the situation was for Muslims, The Prophet ﷺ was a free speaker. He spoke exactly what Allah told him to speak. Remember, the hadith is part of wahyu. When the Prophet says a word. So what did he say at this moment when he was wanted to be killed, oppressed? Khadija was about to die. The boycott just ended few days ago. Did he chicken out, na'udhu billah, like we may do? Oh, Sheikh, you just came out from detention, take it easy. No, my friend, I am a man of mission. If Allah wants me to die, I will die. If Allah wants me to be deported, I will be deported. If Allah wants me to... It's not your problem. And this is why we lost everything, including Jerusalem. Because of this type of Muslims who always... and there was so-called hikmah. It's not hikmah. It's cowardice. Some people, they are so coward, but they tell you, no hikmah. It's not that. Look what Rasulullah, I want to recite for you hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said in Arabic, then I will read it in English to show you that he never compromised. He said, peace be upon him. Page 153. Demonstrating their intent to kill the Prophet ﷺ is what is recorded by Ibn Ishaq from Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. That some people of Quraysh were at al-Hijr of Ismail complaining that they had been too patient with the Prophet ﷺ. Hey, too patient. We are too patient with you guys. That's how they think. We have given them so much time. Who suddenly appeared in their midst, and began his usual circumambulation. He did his tawaf, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He appeared. They're talking bad about him, he appears. Meaning, here I am in front of you. They started winking at him and uttering sarcastic remarks, but he remained silent for 2 times. Then, on the 3rd, he stopped and addressed the infidels saying, the 3rd tawaf, after they made all kind of bad remarks against him, look what he said. أَتَسْمَعُونَ يَا مَعْشَرَ قُرَيْشٍ أَمَا وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ Look at me. لَقَدْ جِئْتُكُمْ بِالذَّبْحِ He did this to them. I have come to you with slaughtering. You will see, you will see. فأخذت القوم كلمته حتى ما منهم رجل إلا كأنما على رأسه طائر واقع حتى إن أشدهم فيه لا يرفئه بأحسن ما يجد ويقول انصرف يا أبا القاسم انصرف يا أبا القاسم فوالله ما كنت جهولا. Look at this. He sabar, tahan. Then he looked at them. He said, O people of Quraysh, listen, I swear by Allah in whose hand is my soul that you will one day be slaughtered to pieces. He told them that. You will be slaughtered to pieces. Do you know how powerful this is? When you are alone, doing tawaf, and everybody is making fun of you, and you are so sure of yourself, and you say, you will pay for this. Wait and see. Tumbu. Do you know how powerful? So the Prophet ﷺ was not a weak person, like people think. He was patient. Being patient doesn't mean you are weak. Actually, patience is one of the greatest characteristics of strong men and women. Strong men and women are very patient. When you see a man, his wife, blah, 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 and he is just sabar, doesn't mean he's weak. Or vice versa. Sometimes it's the wife who is sabar, and the man is blah, 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 blah. My brothers. So as soon as he uttered, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the word slaughter, they all stood shocked and switched off to a new style of language, portraying fear and even horror, trying to soothe his anger and comfort him, saying, you can leave, Abu Qasim, you can leave, for you have never been foolish. You have never been foolish, brother. Brother, huh? Because now I raise my voice. You thought I was weak. He said, I swear by Allah, I have come to you with slaughtering. And they don't. He doesn't speak in vain, and especially when a person that his nature he's not loud. Suddenly he's loud, meaning enough. Now you better calm down because he's angry. And there is one saying, my brothers and sisters. They say, here you have it, amok. But the Arabs, they call it ittaqi hadmat ghadbat al-hanim. Be very careful from the anger of a calm person. A calm person, when he gets angry, is Hurricane Katrina or Sabrina. There is no Sabrina, I just tell you. In the morning of the following day, they gathered and they started talking about him. This time, they confronted and surrounded him. I saw one of them strangling him with his upper garment. This hadith is narrated by one of the Sahaba saying, I saw him being strangled with his own garment. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Imagine somebody is putting something and then I hold it and start strangling him until his eyes were about to pop up. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu came over crying. Do you want to kill a man just because he says Allah is my Lord? أتريدون أن تقتلوا رجلا يقول ربي الله? He pushed them and saved the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They left him alone after that. Are you killing a man just because he says my Lord is Allah? That is exactly what the Prophet sallallahu was saying. My God is Allah. That's the summary of Islam. I am the slave of Allah. Yes, my brothers and sisters. Ibn Amr said that was the worst behavior I had ever seen from Quraysh. Quraysh stood so low that day when they physically went and tried to kill the Prophet ﷺ through his clothes. Had it not been for Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. The son of Zoubir ibn al-Awwam, Urwa, may Allah be pleased with him, who is the nephew of Aisha. Aisha radiyallahu anha is the auntie of Urwa. He said, I asked Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, because they were close to the age. You saw that, right? He said, you saw the day Rasulullah ﷺ was about to be killed. His father was not yet a Muslim. And Abdullah was young, but he saw this. He saw the Prophet ﷺ being strangled with his own clothes by this kuffar, who yesterday, as if shaitan tricked them, you were takut of him when he told you, I have come to you with slaughtering. You know what I mean? It's like when you go home and say, did he say that to me? I am the... Oh, no, you pumped out. Shaitan pumps you out. So you go and catch him and strangle him. And by the way, he was praying. Otherwise, they cannot touch him. Yeah, the Prophet was strong. He was a strong man. He had the power of 40 men inside him. You cannot just come and put him down. Forget it. So, Urwa ibn Zoubir, when he grew up in Medina, he asked Abdullah after he became Muslim, he and his father, he said, Abdullah, you were there when the Prophet was strangled, right? He said, yes. I asked Abdullah bin Amr to tell me of the worst thing that the pagans did to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, while the Prophet ﷺ was praying in al-Hijr of al-Kaaba, Hijr Ismail, Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, may Allah curse him, came and put his garment around the Prophet ﷺ's neck and strangled him violently. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq came along, radiyallahu anhu, and caught him from his shoulder and pushed him away from the Prophet ﷺ. Do you want to kill a man just because he says, my Lord is Allah? That was the hadith of Abdullah ibn Zubayr, Abdullah bin Amr ibn al-As to Urwa ibn Zubayr. In the narration of Asma, the sister of Aisha radiallahu anha, who is the mother of Urwa, the wife of Zubayr, she said, someone came yelling to Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr, look at your companion. Go see your companion. Meaning he was far, near. He found the Prophet ﷺ being strangled because the men came from behind. And those men were real men. You think they're like the men of today who eat McDonald's? They were eating real barbecue. Milk straight from the camel. Milk from Australia. Most of it just powder. Hey! Real susu. Susu unta. From the factory to the mouth. Meat fresh. They just kill the animal already on the fire. Those people were strong. For us, yeah, let's walk from here to the masjid. Right to the masjid. Most of us will drop. Takbir. Some of you will sleep on the way. Sunny will sleep. What? She's calling? You look like disturbed by she?
Yeah.
She heard of the joke. I know.
Set the light.
She heard. I heard what Sheikh said. All I said, you can be great with one wife. You can be greater with 4 wives. Haram to lie. We just came back from Umrah. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
You be greater to die. So, he left everything in his hand, Abu Bakr Siddiq, and went to rescue his companion. So my dear brothers and sisters, now Allah will send Hamza to Islam. Oh, Islam of Hamza. Islam of Hamza was the biggest positive thing that happened in few years. His uncle one day came from, by the way, no man used to go hunting by himself except Hamza. It's madness to go hunt in the desert by yourself. Simply, thirst will kill you. If your horse break his leg, you're dead. That man doesn't know what does the word fear means. Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib radiallahu anhu, who is the Prophet ﷺ's brother also. Hamza is his uncle, yet he was his brother. Through milk. They breastfed the same woman, Halima Sa'diyah. Meaning he's close to his age. Are you shocked that your uncle could be your age? I know someone older than his uncle.
Yes.
MashaAllah, man, very productive. Man, your father could be very old. He married another woman, young. Why are you shocked? Most Tanstris, takbir. You may not know. You may not know. When somebody dies, you find another woman with 3-4 kids coming like this. Who are you? She's crying. Why are you crying? I am also his wife. This happened. It's
Yes.
true.
Yep.
Here in Malaysia.
Yes. I have witnessed that.
Takbir.
Allahu
That's why I always tell sisters, check your husband. Check your husband. I know some sisters will watch this, so yeah, check your husband. Like, yeah. Send it to them. Suddenly husband go conference, international conference. Especially international conference in Southeast Asia. That means there is something. Especially Indonesia. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Who travels a lot to Indonesia? Dato Amin. No more? Khalas tawbah lillahi ta'ala. Sadi, what were you doing in Qatar? Look at him, he cannot even answer. No, Sheikh, I want to see my wife. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
This man, his wife caught him talking, always Mufti man calls. Mufti man calls. The second one, Mufti man. Who are you for Mufti man to call you? So don't call your wife, second wife, Sheikh Zoubir. Sheikh Zoubir doesn't have time even to his wife to call you. Call, not even WhatsApp. Maybe I'm answer you. Call you. Takbir. So she found that. Takbir. She gave him fatwa. Don't worry about it. Now back to Hamza radiallahu anhu. No, because I see some brothers very polite suddenly. They look at their phone and then they become polite. I know. The wife says, hey, it's raining and we are takut. Come quickly. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadun. May Allah forgive me. The conversion, I told you don't look at your phones when I teach. The conversion of Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib radiallahu anhu. Now when Hamza became Muslim, actually he didn't want to become Muslim. He said it. He said, I became Muslim just for my nephew. Meaning, I am with him. Meaning this, as we say, we the Arabs say the nose, the family ties brought him. You hit my nephew while I'm still alive. That's a good uncle. A good uncle is the one who protects you. Some uncles demand respect. But uncle, I don't even know who you are. You never visited us. You never played with us. You never took us out when we were little. Now suddenly you want this man to look after you when you are old and this. Where have you been? Why you didn't play your role as uncle? This is very important. Please understand this. A good uncle, when he takes his kids, he takes his brothers, sons and daughters with him too. To eat or to play together or have fun. This is very important. So Hamza radiallahu anhu, so that when they go to that old age, they also find us as nephews. We are now doctors or engineers or ulama or whatever. Inshallah, we help them. I never saw you sitting with my dad. And maybe what I heard from my dad, that you are not a good brother. Which is not good to talk in front of kids. But kids are smart also to draw their own conclusions down. What I am saying is that if you are an uncle or auntie and you demand respect, you should have given it first. You should have invested in your, not necessarily money, but you didn't play the role of uncle and auntie. Suddenly you want them to kiss your hand. No. Hamza was there when Rasulullah ﷺ was beaten badly, and he and his companions. He came and he said, Ana ala dini Muhammad. I am on the religion of Muhammad. Anyone fight me, not him. Wow. I say whatever he says. That's what he meant. But he didn't mean to become Muslim. Yet Allah put Islam in his heart. He told him, I didn't mean really to become Muslim. And he was a heavy drinker. He used to drink a lot. He used to hunt lions by himself. Lion of the desert is more vicious than the other lion and faster because it's skinnier. You see the female of the lion, the size of it is like that. He adapted himself because too much hair and heat, it kills him in the desert. It's like the jaguar, not the black jaguar, the other one. The leopard in French. Leopard, it's like that, but with a bigger head and bigger bite. He used to catch them with his hand. He goes to their holes and grab them and come on. He was a man. This man, you're gonna fight him. He told him, son of my brother, when I go at night and I look at the beautiful sky with the stars, full sky stars, I realize that God cannot be put between four walls. He had the fitrah of Islam. I am with you. Do whatever you want and tell me whatever you want me to do. Oh, that made the Sahaba jubilate. That made the Sahaba so happy. Hamza is with us. Now the kuffar will watch what they say to us. Yeah, my brothers and sisters. So we stop here, inshallah,
Sheikh.
at the conversion of Hamza, a reversion of Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib radiallahu anhu. Yes.
This was after the boycott?
No, this is before the boycott.
This was before
Yeah,
the
I
boycott.
went back a little bit. This is before the boycott.
So he also suffered during the boycott.
He was not a man to be caught. He is always hunting. Although he became Muslim, that's why when he leaves town for hunting, they kill they hurt the Sahaba. When he's in town, no one touch anyone. When the cat is missing, the mouse plays. Only in Tom and Jerry, you see Jerry running after Tom. But when there is a real cat, not your cats, the mice would be playing around the real cat. You know, cat with a scar outside, that's a cat. Yours, I don't even know if they are cats or Arnab. Hero, like me. Ay.
It's a he then.
It's a he?
No.
Who?
Lulu.
It's a male. Lulu is a male.
Before female.
Oh no. Allahu Akbar, what did you do? Seriously?
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar. Bismillah. This needs a bigger water to drink. This information. Anyways, later on, some of you don't know. The point I'm making, when Islam needs force, Islam without force, forget it. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of his names is what? Al-Qawi. Dhul Quwwati al-Mateen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has quwwah. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also commanded us to prepare for our enemies, whether we know them or don't. Some enemies we know. Some enemies we don't know, the hypocrites who live with them. You have to prepare for them a very strong power, Allah says. Weapons. Deterrence, at least. You make mistake, we make mistake. Look at Korea. North Korea. They will not play with that guy. No matter what. Because he has the answer. You press, I press. You go, we go. Bye-bye. The latest coronavirus is man-made, human-made. It's American war against China. It's not. The Chinese have been eating dogs and cats and bats for centuries. Only now, coronavirus? Oh, because of the ego. It is not because of the ego. Allah is punishing them. Allah punishes the Chinese for ego, but He doesn't punish the Hindus for what they did to Rohingya, or the Israelis for Palestinians, or the Shia of what they are doing in Syria and yeah. And He doesn't punish the British for what they did to the Muslims, the French for what they did to the Muslims, the Americans what they have done in Iraq and Afghanistan. He punished only Chinese. Do you know Islamically we cannot say Allah is punishing or until we have a dalil? Otherwise we rely on Allah. What's your evidence that it's from God? It's man-made. So that China loses so much of the economy. It's an economic war. Because if America uses nukes, China has nukes. And no one will blame China if, let's say, America nukes one city. China will send Las Vegas bye-bye. One city, Wuhan gone, Las Vegas gone. They know. So, but sending that virus and blaming it on the way the Chinese eat and this and that is closer to belief than especially when Trump declared, oh, there is now a good deal between us and China. Finally, we found a deal, economic trade deal. But that's a lie. Politicians, whatever they say, is the opposite.
Sorry to tell you this. Politicians, when they say something, just time the opposite. When they tell you we will cancel Duke and Plus and this, 18% discount. Cancel, forget it. When they say electricity will reach your kampong, not during their time. One day, inshallah. Pray. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
It's the truth. 95% of what they say is just forget it. Another thing, so they could not stop the goods, the Chinese goods reaching America with all the taxes that America has put on Chinese goods. Still goods keep coming. That will make them lose a lot. Second, China became richer and richer. Billions of, many Chinese companies are buying land and properties in America, meaning America is becoming Chinese. Instead of China becoming American, is the other way. Three, this one, Beijing, Paris, Silk Road. That means America will lose the European Union economy. China will, Africa they lost it, China, Asia they lost it, they are already here. Australia, most of them Chinese. So the only way to break them is this. And may Allah just save us. We are like small creatures of Allah, like mice under the feet of elephants fighting. They will just step on us. Don't think that's not part of the Seerah. What I'm talking about China, and it's the Seerah. It's part of Seerah. Don't think I am getting out of subject. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Allah is the best, knowledgeable. Brothers and sisters, why are you surprised that America will do that? They did the opium, the war of opium to the Chinese. Britain and Britain especially. How did they take Hong Kong and Macau and Taipei and from? The whole China was on drugs. Never forget it. These people, they don't care. What they did to the Vietnamese, what they did to Afghans, they will do anything to win a war. But with the big ones, they play differently. They play differently. They cannot use nukes. You use nuke, they use nuke. So, who has the advantage of these viruses? We know who. And if they can do it to China, which is very powerful, they can do it to anyone. So that's a message to all other countries that watch out. If you try to get out from the road we told you to follow, we will send only one virus on you. The Chinese will beat this virus, wait and see, make them even stronger. What I am asking Allah is that China becomes Muslim. Say Ameen.
Ameen.
Because the Chinese don't have tradition of enmity with Islam, unlike the West. Russia and America and the West have enmity with Islam, history. The Chinese don't have problems with Muslims. But Sheikh, Igor, only now Igor? When America wants you to believe that? Where have you been since 1949? Igor issue is since 1949. It's part of China. I'm not saying there are no atrocities, there are. But why only now? The focus is now. That's the question. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. So that you forget Jerusalem. All this also so that Muslims don't discuss something very important happening now. What is it? Safqat al-Qarn, the deal of the century. Imagine something that doesn't belong to me, it belongs to this brother, to brother Sani. I give it to brother Zayd. It's not even mine, just because I have power. Jerusalem belongs to Palestinians, they give it to the Jews.
And who gave it to them? The oldest city in the world is Jerusalem. Given to a country that was born 1948. By a country that has only 200 years. America, how old it is? 200 years. Jerusalem, 6,000 years. Jerusalem and Palestine is 6,000 year civilization. Given by a 200 years old to 60 or 70 years. Since 48 until now, how many years?
72.
72. And then imagine. But Muslims don't want to learn history. They don't want even to learn Seerah of the Prophet. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Seerah, the most noble history is this Seerah that we are talking about. May Allah guide us.
Ameen.
Very soon we start talking about Isra and Mi'raj. Then that's the beginning. Why the Prophet ﷺ had to go there? Why from there? Why from Jerusalem? There is hikmah. Why not from Medina? Why not from Ta'if? Why not from Yemen? Why not from Mecca directly? Allah could have done that. Allah can do anything. So that Muslims should never forget that Rasulullah ﷺ prayed there. Moses never entered Jerusalem. Musa alayhi salam never saw Jerusalem. So if the Jews talk about it from religious point, we have more right over it because our Prophet prayed there. Musa didn't even see it. Rasulullah ﷺ has been there. He prayed in al-Masjid al-Aqsa, then he walked, tied up his horse to the rock, and Allah took him up to heaven. And even when he came down to Jerusalem, then flew back to the Mecca. Going through Mecca, through Jerusalem, coming back through Jerusalem. There is hikmah to connect the two masjids forever. It is haram for a Muslim to just respect Mecca and forget Al-Quds. Al-Masjid al-Haram and Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. Surah Al-Isra. We will see this inshallah. And Mi'raj, Surah Al-Najm. Al-Isra is mentioned in Surah Al-Isra, and the Mi'raj to the sky is mentioned in Surah Al-Najm. We will see all this inshallah. But we are still with Islam of who? Hamza. Why you don't name Hamza your children? Malays don't name Hamza a lot. Very few. Cuckoo, Lulu, Shushu. Where are you going with your names? Yeah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Ya Allah, grant us rahmah and barakah. Ya Allah, grant us taqwa and istiqamah. Ya Allah, bless our host and his wife. Grant them rahmah, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Grant rahmah to all my brothers and sisters who are present here. And Ya Allah, if this shows anything, it shows the love these men and women have for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Grant us his audience in Jannah. Ameen. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله. By the way, raising hands. Many brothers